Hello, welcome to BoxPred. This is my prediction video for the upcoming July the 2nd fight between Wladimir Klitschko and David Haye. This is a big heavyweight matchup for the IBF, WBO, WBA and IBO heavyweight titles of the world. My prediction for this fight is a victory for Wladimir Klitschko by late stoppage, and I'm going for the 10th round. Let's just take a look at the records. Wladimir Klitschko, 55 victories, 3 losses, no draws, around an 84% knockout ratio. David Haye, 25 victories, 1 loss, no draws, around an 88% knockout ratio. So what is immediately evident is that both of these guys have supreme power, and they both have the type of punching power that can end a fight in the blink of an eye. So therefore, when I normally do predictions, or anybody on YouTube does predictions for that matter, it's a guess. We all know this, we just try to give our educated guess on who we think is going to win the fight and how. However, for most fights, if I predict one guy to win by stoppage or decision, I'm usually rather confident that that guy will win the fight either way. However, in this fight, without sitting on the fence too much, I really believe that anything could happen. I honestly do. Will I be surprised if either guy gets knocked out early? No. Will I be surprised if either guy gets knocked out late? No. I'll be a bit more surprised if it's a decision victory, but not really that much more surprised, because I can see that happening. So this is really one of those fights where it really is a guess, and I stick by my decision to go with Wladimir Klitschko by stoppage in the 10th, but I just want to make you aware that in my opinion this really is a fight where anything could happen and very little would actually surprise me. So let's get into it. I'm going to first look at Wladimir Klitschko. He's the bigger man in this. He's taller, he has a longer reach. He has the advantages in that area. He fights with a supreme jab. If you're going to have somebody's jab, you would look at the Klitschko brothers, and you probably would want to choose their jabs. They really have very, very effective jabs, which work. They're the real deal. With Wladimir, his jab, he often, rather than you see a shooting jab, he often holds it out there, and he'll literally be like this, okay? So he'll pour, and he won't bring it in. He's just stopping his opponent. He's very good at stopping his opponent from getting beyond this area here. And for me, the problem for David Haye in this one is that's what he needs to do. He needs to get beyond this area if he's going to win this fight, really, in my opinion, if he's going to have the chance of winning this fight. And Wladimir Klitschko then tends, late as the fight develops, what he tends to do is, as his opponent tires, and as he gets more success with that jab and he starts shooting that jab, he starts following it with the quick right, which is his power hand and his power shot, and that is very successful at stopping his opponents and knocking them out. Like I said, he's got great power. And this is my concern for Haye. Where Klitschko holds out that jab, okay? I know that Haye, I believe Haye can throw with both hands, really, yeah. But predominantly, I think his favoured punch, his favourite hand for attacking first to get the power punch off, is his right hand. And from the fights I've seen other people fail against Wladimir Klitschko, is when he's holding his left out there, and David Haye wants to come with the right, he's going to have that problem of getting around that jab to land that right. He really is, in my opinion, in this one. Now, you have multiple ways you can try and do this. You can try lateral movement, you try and get round the side. You can try and get inside, underneath, somehow. Or you can try and go over the top of it. Now, if Klitschko wasn't didn't have such a good jab, then I would say David Haye could try and get over his jab. But David Haye, remember, is the smaller man in this one. Smaller reach, smaller height. He's going to find it very difficult to actually get over that jab. And I think his best bet is going to have to be, he's going to have to try and use lateral movement. I like David Haye's movements in the ring. I think compared to other opponents of Klitschko, he is far better at moving around and slipping out the sides. I think he could try and get sort of underneath, but the problem you've got when you stay sort of central with Klitschko is that he can always follow up with that right, and you're always going to walk into it, or you're going to walk into that jab, because that jab just follows you round. Okay, so that's my concern. How is David Haye going to get inside that jab or around that jab? And I think his height and reach disadvantage is going to really maybe frustrate him in this department, in this one, and also the skills, the superior skills of Wladimir Klitschko in this area. He's done it time and time again to opponents, and it could happen again in this one. Moving on to David Haye, he is the smaller man in this one, like I've said. David Haye has power, speed, movement, and he's an explosive fighter. He's a stalker. He likes to manage it from the outside. He'll pick his opportunity, and he will come in with rapid fire explosive shots. And he has very quick hands when he's coming in, and he has power. So if he manages to get inside on Wladimir Klitschko's jab, I really feel that Wladimir Klitschko is in big trouble in this one. That jab needs to work, because if David Haye gets inside, he's going to be in big trouble. I really don't see him lasting if David Haye is able to get inside. It won't take too many attacks from David Haye to actually stop Klitschko if he gets fully going. I do question David Haye's opposition at heavyweight so far. His three opponents, Valuev, Ruiz, and Harrison. They are they're not really three tough opponents, really. You could argue that Valuev was quite tough because he had to go to Germany and he had to face a guy who it was very hard to get a decision against. But really, Valuev was really a plodder, and he's not really a good boxer. He's just huge. So, right. I think this may be tentative early on. I think, much like against Oli Harrison, David Haye may be tentative. He may be sizing up his opponent, as will Klitschko. There is a lot of anger towards each other, particularly I think Klitschko is angered at David Haye. But I think he's not the type of guy to get carried away. He will try to channel that aggression effectively. I was tempted to go for a decision in this one for Klitschko, because I can see it actually. Although we've got two huge punches in this fight, I can see Klitschko them just going the distance and Klitschko picking off this decision. But I think that, much like he did to Eddie Chambers, Klitschko will catch up with David Haye late on. And although there's going to be still the chance that he will get stopped himself, I just am going to take the guess that late on he's going to catch David Haye. The tiredness and everything is going to catch up with both fighters, but predominantly with Haye. And I think he's going to start landing that jab effectively. He's going to frustrate Haye maybe, and he's going to land that right hand. What I want to just say is, people who may compare David Haye to the likes of Eddie Chambers, because Eddie Chambers was considered a fast opponent for Klitschko. I don't think he's in the same league, movement-wise, speed-wise, explosive power-wise. I don't think Eddie Chambers lives up to David Haye. I think Klitschko can't go in there thinking he's another Eddie Chambers. He's simply not. He's got far better range of movement around the ring. He's far more explosive coming in. He's not going to be standing there with a high guard. He's going to be trying to be elusive. David Haye is going to be slicker than Eddie Chambers, and he's going to be a bit harder to pin down than Eddie Chambers. So what I'm going for in this one is Wladimir Klitschko by late stoppage. I'm going to pick round 10. I think anything could happen in this fight, but I'm going to be held accountable to this. Klitschko by 10th round stoppage. I just want a good fight. I would love to see David Haye, dethrone Wladimir Klitschko, if only to set up a super fight with his brother Vitaly. But then I wouldn't mind either way, really, if we get a good fight. It could be disappointment, but that's heavyweight fights for you. You never know what's going to happen. Let's hope for a great fight. I'm really looking forward to this one. That's my prediction. Wladimir Klitschko by 10th round stoppage. Let me know what you guys think. There's going to be major conflicting views on this one. Just please rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. This is BoxPred, and I'm out.